How do? Firstly, I just want to make it very clear that it's hot as hell in here for some reason. So I've got the window open, so if you hear any background noise, that'll be that. I've got one of those blue snowball microphone things, and it's like super sensitive to shit. So like on my first video that I did when I came back, the fridge was making so much noise. It's probably going to pick up everything that everybody says outside. So, you know, I'll just have to bear with it because it's hot as hell. Pickups. I've been wanting to do a pickups video because I got a few bits, but I thought I'd go back and sort of, you know, revisit the last couple of pickups I did on Instagram, you know, because there would be a few people who didn't see it, and there's some some people I want to, you know, I think deserve some thanks, and there's some things I want to talk about which I didn't really get to talk about on Instagram. I will get into some of the thanks first. First thanks goes to the absolute awesome gen that is Gordon Gibson, Gib84 Gaming. While I wasn't doing this and was trying my hardest to not be part of the community, he still reached out and he said he bought a load of like loose disc games. For those who don't know, if you're just coming to me, I collect loose discs as well as boxed. I'm a collector to play, not a collector to display. Pardon the rhyming thing there, but yeah, as long as the game works, I'm not bothered. Unfortunately, like most of the games that he'd got that were loose, I already owned, but there were a couple I didn't. One of which being Cold Winter on the PS2, and this one being something that I'd like really been looking for. Actually, it was a few days after Doncaster Market, and I was looking at a copy box for 25 quid at Doncaster and considering it. It's a game I've been after for a while. Just not that it's difficult to find, I just never seem to come across it, and that's Jersey Devil. Gordon was just, you know, gracious enough, even though I only wanted the two games, he was gracious enough to send them to me, and he put them in big like Xbox 360 cases as well to keep them safe. Could have just wrapped them in bubble wrap, I'd been fine. That probably bumped the price of the postage right up. So yeah, it's really nice of him to do that. You probably all know him already, but if you don't, give Gordon a watch because he's just such a genuinely great guy. The other big thanks is from a guy at work called Adam. He doesn't watch this, but I know he's a massive fan of Callum Retro Ghetto. But he collects Megadrive, and he randomly gave me this boxed copy of Global Gladiators, which is a game I never played on the Megadrive. I have it on the Master System, and I haven't got around to playing that version either. But I loved it on the Amiga back in the day, and it's nice and complete. It's even got the tab that people covet so much. Inside there's just a slight bit of damage to the instruction book, but apart from that, everything is present and correct, cartridge and everything. Really nice to have that, and it's not, I know again it's not a massively sought after game, but it's one that I genuinely love playing, and I'm not just getting it because it's valuable. And it was just nice to just have the goodness of someone's heart. So yeah, on to stuff that I'm revisiting through Instagram. This was from like basically the space of like a week. Ended up getting quite a few bits. I bought firstly code in the box copy of Power Wash Simulator. I'd heard Ross from Bohaha Gaming go completely nuts over this. I think he's finished it all 4 times, maybe more. Which is absolutely crazy because this is not what I thought it was going to be, which is like a mobile phone style game where it's just like, you know, 5-minute levels just to pass a little bit of time when you're in the bus. You know, it just seems like tailored to that sort of gaming, but no, actually this is a real time sink. The last level it's on its own must have took me 4 to 6 hours just to do that. So I'd probably say it's about a 30 to 40 hour game this, and Ross has gone through it all like, I'm sure he said 4 times. Nuts. Genuinely a really good game too. It's very cathartic, very satisfying. When you've like got like a floor, just like a wide floor bit, and it's one with something like easy dirt to get up, because sometimes you have to go over it a few times. If it's one where it's just like loose dirt and you just spray it once and you're just going down it like a dot matrix printer, just clearing it up, it's so satisfying. One, you know, if you're stressed or anything like that, I genuinely do recommend you play that game. It is just catharsis in a box. And the other thing I ordered, which kind of regretting it now, because I thought this was a new thing and I thought it was limited, and I thought that people like things were running out and stuff. It turns out it is limited. It's limited to 5,000 copies on the Switch. I think it's slightly less on the PlayStation. But it has been out a few years and not sold out, so the rush to buy it really shouldn't have been an issue for me. That's Shing on the Switch. It's a beat 'em up game, which obviously I'm really into. I want to play as many as I can, but I have heard this was actually pretty dog shit. But at least I've got it. It is a limited release. I haven't tried it yet. I will try it. One really annoying thing about it is that this limited sticker was on the cellophane, so I've had to peel it off and stick it onto the actual box just to keep it there, you know. And that's made it look a little bit dog-eared. But yeah, it's numbered as well on the back, which is pretty cool. I'm kind of glad to have it, but I was under the impression it was sort of more get it now or you'll never get it than it was. So yeah, you know. Yeah. My wife Susie has been wanting to play through the Dragon Age games again before Dragon Age Veilguard comes out, and we realised that we had them on the PS3, but the PS3 is up here and you can't play the PS3 games on the PS5, so we've decided it'd be easier just to buy the originals again on the Xbox 360, so she could play them on the Series X downstairs. So that's got Dragon Age Ultimate Edition, which includes Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Awakening, which is cool. They are both really good games, those two. I mean, I've fallen out with the series. Dragon Age 2 wasn't great. Speaking of which, there it is. I got these both for Susie so she could play through them in comfort. She's finished both of these and now she's on to Dragon Age Inquisition in plenty of time for the next one. So yeah, as I was saying, Dragon Age 2 is not that good. It's alright, it's just I really like sort of the aesthetic of Dragon Age 2. It's got like a real style to the armour, which the first one was just kind of everyone's wearing like just basic medieval clothes. In Dragon Age 2 everything was like sort of triangular or diamond shaped, and it kind of gave a real good aesthetic to the game. In Inquisition they kind of like lost that again. Like the main characters had like special armour and stuff that looked like stood out, but everybody else went back to just the normal kind of medieval looking clothes again, it looks like. And then Dragon Age Veilguard looks like a hero shooter, so I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I kind of fell off with the series after Dragon Age 2 because that wasn't that great. Dragon Age Inquisition looked boring to me, but she still loves them, so you know. So yeah, they were my online purchases. This was from a trip to Rotherham, I think it was. I think I was going to see my mum. Thought I'd call into CEX there, get a few things I've got, because I don't buy games very often now, like at least from like a new game perspective. I have like a wish list on Amazon with stuff that I want, and every so often I'll get something like that. If I think of something that I want, I'll add it to the list. So I was going past CEX, I was a little bit flush, and I had a look what they had in stock that was on my list, and they had a couple of things. So I nipped in and picked up the Outer Worlds, which is like Obsidian's version of sort of like, it's first person but it's kind of like Mass Effect-y, a bit Borderlands-y. Really good game. I did play through it on Game Pass when it first came out, but I never actually picked up a copy, so I bought the PS4 version because I'd already played through it on the Xbox, so I don't know when I'll get back into that. It is on my pile of games to play again. I did really enjoy it the first time round, so it's going to be well worth it. And the second game I picked up from CEX was Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is it's a sort of fantasy spin-off of Borderlands. Like, say if Borderlands was like, you know, like we've got the Elder Scrolls or Dragon Age, that kind of thing. It's like their kind of version of that. But it's obviously it's part of the Borderlands universe. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's very sort of self-satirical. I kind of got bored of Borderlands, pardon the pun. Dropped off after Borderlands 2. I haven't played the pre-sequel or Borderlands. Is there a Borderlands 3 or is that the one that's just been announced? Anyway, as you can tell, I completely dropped off, but I'd sort of got a urge to play a fantasy game lately, and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands fits the bill. I figured, you know, I'd pick it up. It wasn't expensive, can't remember how much it was, but hopefully it scratches an itch. But again, it's on my pile and I haven't got around to playing it yet. As I come out of CEX in Rotherham, right across from it, I think it's the British Heart Foundation, I could be wrong, it's a big charity shop anyway. And I thought, just something told me, have a look in there, see what you can get. I went in and I found for £5 my all-time find of the day, Sonic Mania Plus on the Switch, which was, it's a good price for that. I think this goes for about £20 normally. So that's a very good price for that. Everything is present and correct inside. It's got the awesome reversible cover, which I love, and the art book. I don't think there was supposed to be anything else in there, so I was very, very happy to find that. Again, I have this digitally on the PS4, I think it is, but I have always wanted like a physical copy, especially when I saw the reversible cover inside and everything like that. And I would prefer games like this on the Switch, so very happy to have just stumbled across that. If anyone hasn't played Sonic Mania, or Sonic Mania Plus, if you liked the old Megadrive games, just give it a go. It's absolutely classic. It's just like, you know, that kind of thing. It's basically just a continuation from Sonic 3. It's just a really faithful, but yet it does new things, you know. It's just so worth playing. So fast forward a few weeks, I'd been sort of mentally kind of getting a bit aggy, sort of having to go at people, snapping at people and stuff. Kind of really getting to me because I could see it happening just after it happened. Like somebody would say something, and I'd like proper just have a go at them for no reason. So I was getting into kind of a dark place, and I decided to try playing some sort of non-violent games. Firstly, I picked up this game. I've been looking at it for a while actually, and then it went on offer, and I thought, well, it was the cheapest I've ever seen it. Basically, you know, I'm 39 years old, and it's only been the last couple of years I've started drinking coffee, and I absolutely love coffee now. I love sort of like the whole like coffee shop culture and stuff. So this game had been on my radar, and that is the Coffee Talk 2-in-1 double pack. And it's essentially it's a visual novel kind of thing. They call it, well, it's not really a visual novel. There's no like narration or anything like that. It's like they call it conversation simulator. I just said visual nozzle, didn't I? It's visual novel. They call it a conversation simulator, and essentially you play the role as you're a barista, not a barrister, and you're sat in a coffee shop, and as your customers come in, you sort of hear their conversations, and they'll ask you for drinks, and then it comes to like a mini game where you've got to mix ingredients to make different drinks and stuff. Sometimes they'll ask you for a specific drink, and that's, you know, all well and good if you know the drink. If not, you need to try and figure it out. As you sort of learn more drinks, they all come into a little book. So like, if someone asks you for a specific drink and you know how to make it, you don't have to remember. You can look in your book and it'll show you. But that's only if you've already made one. Sometimes they'll come in and just say, I want something sweet and milky or something like that, and you have to sort of go off the top of your head and work out from the ingredients what they'd want, and you have to do the ingredients in specific orders as well. Say if you like put one where you put coffee, honey, milk, it might not make the same drink as coffee, milk and honey sort of thing. So yeah, you have to figure out the right order of ingredients. And yeah, basically I played through the first one of these. I'm playing through the second one currently, and it really did calm me down. And it took a lot of the stress and sort of mental problems I was having at that time, and the sort of agginess away from me. Forgot to mention, it's also setting kind of like a fantasy sort of contemporary Seattle, but like I say fantasy, it's like today's Seattle, but as well as like humans, there's also things like elves and like werewolves and Draculas and orcs and stuff, and they all sort of intermingle together. It's kind of, the story plays out, there's a lot of like sort of allegories for the way our different races and religions are treated in our world and stuff like that. It's a bit woke, I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple that's, well, they're not actually couples, these two people, but there's two people who, a vampire and a werewolf, who are strongly hinted at that they're a gay couple, or at least they've got attraction to each other. There's a mermaid and a female orc that meet up, and it's implied that they might have a lesbian attraction to each other. So if that kind of thing bothers you, then, you know, don't play it. But if it doesn't bother you, then congratulations, you're not a cunt. So yeah, I'm playing through the second one at the minute, really enjoying it, and it's the first time I think I've played a visual novel since Doki Doki Literature Club came out, like when it first came out on the PC. And I think before that, the last one I played was Silent Hill play novel on the Game Boy Advance. So I really enjoyed playing it, so I've sort of like looked for things that might be similar. Like, I'm not really bothered about just sitting and reading. I want something to do as well as that, like that sort of making the coffee's kind of fulfilled that need. So yeah, I've been sort of looking for similar games, and one that I've seen a few times was Arcade Spirits, which I picked up. I picked up both of these actually, both the first one and the second one, Arcade Spirits and New Challenges. The first one was code in box, but the second one's physical. Got them both from the game collection, and I've not played them yet. I already had Arcade Spirits. I got it from on itch.io on the PC in like a bundle for racial equality that they did a while back, where you sort of paid what you want and you got a big bundle of games. Arcade Spirits was one of those, but that was on the PC, and I'll get more into that later. I wanted a copy of it on the Switch, and I got a nice box to go on my shelf. So yeah, I've not played these yet, but they're sort of based around sort of like 80s style like arcade atmosphere and stuff like that. It might be one of them things which is a little bit too sort of cringy for me, but I'm going to give them a go at some point. It was all towards with the cozy gaming and, you know, the kind of wanting to alleviate a lot of my aggravation and aggressiveness and stress at the time, so they're going to be there for a rainy day for when I'm feeling like that again. At the minute, feeling pretty good. Which is weird because I was super down yesterday. Right, that's all stuff that's been shown on Instagram before. This is kind of new stuff now. We went into Sheffield. I had to do a little bit of like nipping into Marks and Spencer's and shit, so we went into Sheffield. I nipped into CEX there. Again, I had a look online before to see if there was anything on my wish list that I could pick up, which led me to the game Cobra Kai. The Karate Kid saga continues on the Switch. There's two versions of this game. There's a physical one and there's a code in box one. And I had them both on my wish list on Amazon. The code in the box one was considerably cheaper than the physical one. But I had a look on CEX, and they had it listed for the same price as the code in box one on Amazon. Because CEX only deal in pre-owned stuff, it had to be the physical, didn't it? So it was in stock, so I went along and I got this. I think it was actually a little bit cheaper than the code in box on Amazon. As Cobra Kai the Karate Kid saga continues, I've not really ever been into the Karate Kid. The only film I've seen is the one with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith, where it's not Karate Kid at all because he learns Kung Fu. That is the only one I've actually seen. I've never watched Cobra Kai, but I've heard this is a pretty decent, serviceable beat-em-up, so, you know, as I said earlier with Shing, I want to get more beat-em-ups, so I want to try as many as I can. So I got that one. I think that was £11, and I've also been wanting to play through the Gears games again. I got a bit excited when they announced the new one, and so I wanted to play through all the old ones again before that comes out. I was going to play through Judgment first, but I tried playing that and I realised I forgot how shit it is. So I stopped playing that because I wanted to play them in chronological order, which I know is wrong because the new one's going to be a prequel. But yeah, that went out of the window anyway because I decided not to play Judgment. But I thought, why play through the first Gears on the 360 again when they've got the Ultimate Edition out? So that was £4 from CEX. I thought, why the hell not? You know, it's £4. It's got extra like levels in it. I think they've like reanimated some of the cutscenes, up to the graphics and stuff like that. It seemed well worth £4 just to, you know, to get a little bit of newness out of it. It's a very good game. Like the original, at least, is a very good game. I remember it was like, I think it might have been the first game of that generation that I played, and it blew me away graphically. I know now it's an old game, but yeah. So yeah, I got Cobra Kai anyway, and there's a Cobra Kai 2, and again that's I think that was about £20 on Amazon, so it was in my wish list. But I went on to the game collection to order Dragon Age Veilguard for Susie for her birthday. Thought I'd have a look what else they had, and lo and behold, on the Switch, this is about £20 on Amazon, they had Cobra Kai 2 for, I think it was £6 odd, $6.98 I think it was. So I was gonna... I ordered it, and I pay for stuff like that through PayPal, and I noticed when I ordered it, I had £10 in my PayPal account, and I had no idea why. Looked back through my history, and it turns out my sister had paid me my birthday money back in March into my PayPal account, and I'd used some of it, and I must have just forgot to use the rest. So this was like $6.98 I think it was. Didn't actually cost me a thing, which is always a nice bonus. So that's Cobra Kai 2. I'm not sure if it's actually a beat 'em up. It doesn't look like it is, it's a shame if it's not. But yeah, it's there for the set anyway. I've got Cobra Kai 1 and 2. I will be getting that Karate Kid Street Fury as well when it comes out, because it looks awesome. I think it's called Street Fury. I don't know. Yeah, the last things really, game-wise, are the 2 new Evercade releases that came out, which are kind of strong if you're into that kind of thing. The first one, which is a very strong release, is the Tomb Raider Collection 1, which has the first 3 Tomb Raider games on, which is epic as hell, and I would be absolutely thrilled to bits with that and over the moon and playing through all 3 of those. If it wasn't for the fact that it coincided so much with the physical release of the Tomb Raider Remaster Collection for the modern consoles, which I do want to get on the Switch, and I don't want to play through these and then replay through all the remasters as well. So that is one of my favourite Evercade cartridges that's ever come out, but I'm not going to play it. It's just going straight on the shelf. It's there for the collection, which is something I'm not proud of, but I do collect Evercade games, and whatever comes out I'm buying it. So yeah, that's Tomb Raider Collection 1. It's crucial that it says 1. I'm hoping they'll do another set with Last Revelation, Chronicles, and hopefully some of the Game Boy games on it as well, which would be awesome. If you look at the Legacy of Kain one that's coming out, it just says Legacy of Kain Collection, because obviously there's only Blood Omen and Soul Reaver that they can possibly do on the Evercade. Crystal Dynamics is probably the hugest signing for Evercade yet in terms of a marketable thing. They've had big names before like Capcom and Namco, but they only seem interested in porting the older games. Crystal Dynamics are firing out their biggest hits of the era, which is great. There's this one, there's the Legacy of Kain Collection coming, which is honestly the closest I think Evercade will probably have come yet to being the top of my Game of the Year list. Cannot wait for that. As it happens, this is going to be quite far up there anyway, even though I'm not planning on playing it. I'm hoping in future we might get a Pandemonium Collection and a Gex Collection. If we do get a Gex Collection, I'm hoping it's the UK versions of the game, because the UK ones, I can't remember the name of the guy who did the voice for Gex in the first one, but he's like an American comedian. And the American releases, he carried on voicing Gex all the way through the series. Whereas on the second game, we got Leslie Phillips, and on the third one, we got Danny John Jules. Completely different voice actors that sound entirely different, but they are just legends of UK voice, just legendary UK voices that they're iconic. I'd rather hear that than some American comedian that I know nothing of. The other one was, again, it's another one I'm not really bothered about, but it's I'm not bothered about these home computer collections really. Even the Amiga ones feel a bit clunky on a console, and I'd rather play Amiga games on my A500 Mini or something, or on the actual Amiga that's up there if it works. I need to get a new Agnes chip in it, but I'm not in any rush. Anyway, this is the Thalamus Collection 1. Is it Collection 1? Yeah, Collection 1. I've been told Thalamus is a good studio, and the games that are on this, to buy them originally, they're very sought after. But honestly, don't give a shit. So I'm going to call upon the Dusty Tape Brigade around, Sean, Russ, all that kind of thing. So the games on this are, I've had to look in the book, Hunter's Moon Remastered, Armalite Competition Edition, Hawkeye, Snare, Retrograde, Creatures, Summer Camp, Heatseeker, Creatures 2, Winter Camp, and Nobby the Aardvark, which I have played Nobby the Aardvark actually. So yeah, if any of those are really worth my time, let me know and I'll add them to my playlist and hopefully get to them at some point. But if not, this is just another shelf game. Kind of disappointing really, because both those Evercade games are strong releases for the people who want them, but they're not for me, if you get what I mean. And also, those Evercade games did come bundled. Normally when there's 2 Evercade games come out in a row, you can get them bundled with an item of merch. This time they can get bundled with this t-shirt, which I love. It's not officially, I'm guessing they haven't got the rights to do merch for a game, it's not officially a Tomb Raider t-shirt, but it's that kind of Mayan kind of Aztec look. So it's obviously there to commemorate the Tomb Raider collaboration. Really love this t-shirt. It's a Gildan shirt, which I'm a bit sort of snobby about t-shirts, and it's a Gildan one, it's a Gildan heavy duty one, so I know it's a good quality t-shirt. The Evercade t-shirts in the past have been sort of you wash them once and then they're too small to wear again. I know Gildan shirts don't shrink too much. The last one that came out, the Tate one, which still annoys me because the picture on it has the Evercade console in Yoko mode, but it says Tate on the top. I have brought this up with Blaze. I was ignored as always. Yeah, the last one, I've washed it a couple of times and half the prints come off the front as well. The only real good Evercade t-shirt they brought out was one which just had the little KD guy on the front. Those t-shirts are really good quality, and I actually have 2 of those. So yeah, I'm hoping this will be as good quality as that one. It's all looking towards it. So that's the last of the software stuff. While I've been off, I've been sort of concentrating on drinking more water. Instead of pop. I like to keep my water in, like metal sort of water bottles, like screw top ones, because if you get one with a straw on it, they kind of go a bit grim after a little bit. Like, I picked up a PlayStation 1 a couple of years back, and I was using that constantly. I thought, I need a few more of these. I looked on Amazon and picked up like a Dreamcast one and a Sega Saturn one, and then we went out and I've got a few more and stuff, and I've kind of inadvertently started collecting metal water bottles. Not just gaming ones, but gaming is, if I see a gaming one I will buy it, if it's something I like anyway. So my wife Susie, she was going into Hillsborough the other day, and there's a B&M there, and I asked her to just nip in because I know normally they have, when it's on the way up to Christmas, and I say on the way up to Christmas from a retail point of view, so that's anything from like July, they always have like a couple of bays on the shelves of like gamer tat. It's the only way I can describe it. It's usually PlayStation and Xbox, and then like something like Minecraft or something. So I asked her to have a look in there, see if they had any Xbox bottles, because I've got a few PlayStation ones but no Xbox ones. So she did. Well, she had a look for all of it, but the PlayStation ones were there, were the ones that I already had. But she came home with 2 Xbox bottles. One is an Xbox and it's got the controllers and shit all around it. And this other one, this is Xbox Power Your Dreams. They're nice metal ones. They're both actually full at the minute. And yeah, I really love these. I just love this kind of bottle. It's just really nice to drink from. Kind of always feel like, I don't know if it's the colour scheme or what, but the Xbox, like the PlayStation stuff, always looks a little bit more elegant than the Xbox ones. Like the blue and white is just a nicer colour combination than black and green. They always look like they should, it should smell like a teenager's bedroom, just like sweat and blank socks. And it kind of looks like everything you drink from them should taste like Monster Energy, but, I still love them, still use them a lot. And as kind of like a joke, she also picked me up a 3rd one. Because when I played through Hogwarts Legacy, I was a loud and proud Hufflepuff, so she saw this one and got me that one. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. This is not leaving the house. I'm not going to be seen like trotting down the pavement. I'm a Hufflepuff. But she got it me as a joke, but I do like it. I do, badges are awesome. So, and I was a proud Hufflepuff in my time in Hogwarts. So yeah, it's a bit sort of, it's got kind of blue stains on it, because B&M was it B&M or Home Bargains? I can't remember which. Yeah, and all their infinite wisdom. On the Xbox ones, they put the little price labels on the bits of cardboard that you throw away. On this one, they put it on the bottle itself, and as I've tried to wash it and soften it up to get it off, it's like blue stains all over it. So yeah, I'm sure that'll come off. Yeah, so last but not least, new console time. And I say console in the sort of lightest meaning of the word. It's new system time, should I say. Because I kind of went a little bit mad. I've not really bought myself much over the course of the year. I know this video does contradict that, but over the course of the year I've only been picking games that have been cheap, and I've not bought myself anything big since the start of the year. The last thing I bought that was kind of hefty at the start of the year was the Atari 2600 Plus, which cost me £100. Apart from that, it's just been £10-15 here and there. So for the longest time I've been wanting a Steam Deck, because I got a lot of games on Steam and other platforms on the PC that I never go around to play, because I just don't like PC gaming. And so I wanted a Steam Deck, and a couple of people have been talking about them lately, and it's just got it to the forefront of my mind. So I started looking into it, seeing how much they were pricing them up and stuff, and that kind of put me onto the ROG Ally, and there's a Lenovo one too, I can't remember what that one's called, which are the sort of similar sort of things to the Steam Deck, but they are not locked to Steam OS, so they run on Windows. So it's like you can get stuff like EA and Ubisoft and stuff on the Steam Deck, but it's a bit of a faff. Whereas the Ally and the other one are, they come ready to play these things. So looking into it, the ROG Ally seemed like the best of the bunch, including the Steam Deck, in terms of performance and what it can do. So I started thinking about the Ally for like a couple of weeks. It was all I was thinking about, and I really wanted one. And then I was talking to Susie, and she's like, "Why don't you just get one? You've not bought yourself anything all year. Treat yourself and get one." So there it is. I got the ROG Ally. I got the original version, not the Ally Plus. The Ally Plus is a good few £100 more expensive, and it's a lot better. And I kind of, I did feel like I might wish that I had that instead. But to be honest, I got the Ally home. I set it up. I'll show you the actual thing while I'm here. It's a fingerprint magnet, but it's a thing of beauty. And I got it home, set it up, and it is an absolute little powerhouse. Just a little Windows PC in the same form factor as like the Nintendo Switch. I genuinely don't know much about PCs. I don't know much about the specs and stuff like that. I knew it had less. I knew RAM was something to do with speed and processing power and stuff. And I knew that an SSD was quicker than a standard hard drive, and so I thought this was going to be sort of comparable to my laptop, but I knew it had less RAM than my laptop, so I thought maybe it'd be sort of like a sort of backup but not work as well. This actually pisses all over my laptop. It is such a good machine. It's like, say, one of the game I play the most on the PC is The Sims 4, and I've got like 20 gigabytes nearly of custom content and mods for that game, and my old laptop, which had a mechanical hard drive in it, it's like a SATA hard drive, it would take 30 to 40 minutes to load my game up. So if you really want to play Sims 4, you had to know you wanted to play it in advance. On my current laptop, it's like 10 to 15 minutes to load up still. On the Ally, however, it just boots up in seconds. It's like maybe sort of 30 to 40 seconds to load the game up. Even with all that custom content, it's crazy. It runs everything I've thrown at it like ultra high settings, which is more than my laptop would do. I've not put anything super like resource heavy on it yet, because I'm not a big PC gamer. I don't own anything that is super resource heavy. But I think probably the most advanced thing I've put on it, I've like played on it so far, is Skyrim. Like the biggest sort of game I've played on it so far is Skyrim. Ultra high settings, looks fucking incredible. It looks better than the Definitive Edition and Anniversary Edition on the PS4. Helped along by the OLED screen and stuff. As I have said before, though, that screen is a fingerprint magnet. Yeah, it's just an absolutely incredibly awesome machine. It's opened up a world of gaming for me, and it just feels like a console. It's got a nice like front end to it as well, which makes it look more like a console, if that's the kind of thing you want to be. It like sort of groups all your games together, no matter where you got them from, into one library, which is nice for me, because that's another thing I hated, is the fact that there were so many different storefronts, and it's like you had to keep tabs on what you had in which storefront and stuff like that, and it was all just too much work, really. And I don't know why anyone PC games, but if that's your thing, then go for it. This consolises it a lot for me, which makes it a lot more attractive for me as a gamer. On top of this, I've bought a docking system as well, which is effectively gives it some more sort of USB ports and things like an HDMI out and Ethernet in, so I can like have it hooked up to this docking system, which I'm going to keep in this room, and while I'm up here, effectively use it as a desktop PC, which is awesome, because not only is it like a really great little handheld, it's the most powerful PC I've ever owned, and I'm loving it so much. I don't think I paid £500 for it. It has since gone down a bit in price on Amazon, but I still feel like it's been worth it already. It's just such an awesome thing. The dock that I got didn't come with a power cable, unfortunately, so I'm having to use the charger to power that. So I am going to want to get an extra charger for this, because like with the Switch, we've got two switches, we've got two docks. I've got one in here, then we've got Susie's downstairs. are connected to the TV down there, and they've both got their own power cables, but we've also got a third power cable for like when I'm using in the bedroom and stuff. So I would like a power cable for this to just stay in the dock while I'm up here, and then keep another one with me in the house wherever else I play it. It's not going to be like a main system for me. It could be. I genuinely think this could be like a main system for me. I always said the Switch is great, but I couldn't imagine that as my main gaming system. This I could, but it's not going to be. It's like AAA games and stuff I'm still going to get over on, probably on the PS5, more like 95% chance I'm going to get them on the PS5. If not, then the Series X. But it's opened up, like, everything that I've got on Switch, on Steam over the years is now on this, and the same, I've got stuff from EA, I always still want to call it Origin, and I've got stuff from itch.io. I've got hundreds of games on there, so anything I want to play on those is now on this, and I can play it whenever I want, and it's awesome. Last but not least, I want to say a big thanks to Claire, the Retro Repair Bear, the other half of the ever-present Russ, the Retro Bear, that you all know and love from YouTube. Since meeting her for the second time at the Black Country Gaming Market this year, she's been like printing out little bear figurines, and I managed to snag every colour of them. And I've like proclaimed myself as the most prominent collector of retro repair bears. And I told her she needed to make some pink ones because she'd not done pink yet. So I got a little parcel from her the other day with for me and one for Susie. Little pink retro repair bears, which are awesome. I'm going to put mine on top. I keep them on top of my Mortal Kombat 2 arcade machine, on the top of the marquee, so that'll be sat with those. But not only was the little ones, there was also some slightly bigger ones. This one's lost in a bit of a screwdriver, unfortunately. It was there when I carried him upstairs, but when I got upstairs it wasn't, so I'm guessing I must have knocked that, because I had a lot to carry. But yeah, there was two of these as well, so one of them's gone to Susie. But also, last thing in the box, it's this massive, just one of these, this massive pink retro repair bear, which is awesome. I'm gonna have this actually in view. I'm gonna get rid of my spirit animal, and that's gonna live here on my arcade machine for all to see. I had my creative head on with this, and my first instinct was to paint it and send it back, like give it like a purple top, like colouring the detail white and just paint it like a little, like an actual bear. But then I thought no, because I love the pink colour of it, and I also don't want to send it back because I love it so much. So I thought I'd just, leave it as it was. But I'm also wondering what the structure like is inside these, because it sounds hollow, but I know I think if I hold it up to the light I can see there's like supports inside. It's like a mesh kind of, not a mesh, like a grid inside the supports to keep it upright and stuff while it's being made, while it's being printed. But my thought was, because light does shine through it, but maybe drilling a hole in the bottom and stuffing a load of LEDs in there and seeing if that works as like a light. But I don't know what the support's like inside and whether that'd work. Appreciate a little bit of insight onto that, Claire, actually, if you could. Because having that like lit up next to me would look awesome. But that's going to live there forever in shot. My little one's going to go on top of the machine next to the rest of them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the medium sized one though. But yeah, for those who don't know, she's on Instagram. She doesn't have she does have a YouTube channel, but she doesn't post content. I think you should, Claire, because like a lot of people are going to love watching like the repair videos and stuff. Yeah, she's on Instagram as Retro Repair Bear. She's an absolute legend of the community. If you ever want anything fixing, send it to Claire and she'll do it. And she's like, does such an awesome service. Me personally, I've never actually had anything fixed by her. I've never given her a penny, but she's still sending me all these little bears and stuff free of charge. Absolutely awesome. She's one of two people outside of my household that have elicited hugs from me, which is, I don't do touching, but you don't have a choice with Claire. I don't mind though, because she's great. So yeah, big thanks to Claire for that. As I've said earlier, big thanks to Gordon Gibson, and big thanks to Adam from work. And yeah, I think I've waffled for long enough now. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.